Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is an educational channel, and this is a new feature called Your Blind Side, where um, I just muse about uh, different things that I've encountered through my day that might have application to the info war. Um, Couple things. One is I find it pretty um, rich to hear uh, kind of podcasters getting almost cynical, but certainly skeptical about the nature of the info war at this point. That um, you know the uh, kind of scoffing at the full control aspects, and you know saying that we got to do something about it, and that if we're going to strive for truth, then we've got to always you know um, keep ourselves um, focused on the truth, and not so much on whether we're being right, or whether this is advantageous for us personally, or if we're getting clicks. And we get less clicks, if we are a little bit more cynical. Um, yeah, I agree. I agree with that, and I do agree that we need to be focused on the truth, and that's really the most important thing. Not so much whether we're right, or whether somebody apologizes to us, or which I just don't see that really happening. In my experience, um, if the normie comes to you, and they're not going to apologize to you uh, for being wrong. They're going to chastise you for not telling you. Why didn't you tell me about this? Well, I did tell you about it, but you unfriended me and locked me out of your life then when I did, you know. But then they'll come back and they'll say, "Oh, well, you should have told me about that." And then when you say you did, they'll say, "Oh, well, um, you should have told me this way and not that way. I would have understood it then." So it's always you're not going to get satisfied that way, I don't think. Um, but you know those same people, though, that when they are talking about being skeptical, and you know even if you have to be cynical, um, almost in the same breath, they'll be like, um, well, of course, my um, my savior is Jesus Christ. Well, um, what's your evidence, and where's the truth about that? Because there isn't any. uh, on one level, you're talking about being a truther and searching for truth, and then on the next level, you're just giving over your faith to something that you inherited from your parents and your community and your culture, and you haven't done the digging on it, and apparently you don't see the contradiction there. So that's again, it makes me doubt whether I should be, um, certainly don't want to be in your foxhole, um, because you haven't you haven't worked out those inconsistencies. So, and the other aspect of that is that they're like, well, I guess we could be getting walked into a technological dystopia. But if we do, well, that'll be because we've been betrayed by the boss. And, if that's the case, well, then we're just screwed anyway. Well, we've been screwed anyway for the whole time. So, the that's again, you're talking about sitting on your hands and doing nothing. Well, that's what you're doing when you resign yourself to, oh well, if we've been tricked that much, then we're totally screwed anyway. Well, no, you're not. There's still things that you can do, and I guess people don't recognize that one of the things that you can do that is going to do the best for you is meditation, which is really doing nothing. Doing sitting still, doing nothing, and see how much nothing you can do. How much you can slow your mind down and stop your mind, um, so that you can grasp reality, and you can open up to all the possibilities that your conscious mind is limiting you from grasping. So there's just a lot of in inconsistencies and contradictions that are going on that need to be fleshed out. And that's try hopefully that's where I'm coming in, is to be able to um, expose some of that, because we're not ready to move forward, regardless of whether we win or lose, if we're going forward on the basis of Christianity. That's the old paradigm, and that's not going to do. Deism, I think deism is a possibility moving forward. So maybe look into that in terms of your favorite American patriots, from George Washington to Thomas Jefferson to Sam Adams to Ethan Allen to Thomas Young to Thomas Paine to Benjamin Franklin, and many others were all, um, in one way or another, deists, one God, and that reveals itself through our faculty of reason and um, the display of nature. And I think that's a better common denominator for us. Then just a final thing. People are always talking about how sports are rigged, and why do you watch sports? They're rigged. Well, to me, like, if sports are rigged, that's almost even more of a reason to watch it, because if they are rigged, and I believe that they are rigged, but not in the just massive manner that some people say that they are. That every single play is scripted and all of the statistics are rigged up beforehand. And um, if that's the case and it's rigged like that, then you're watching like an Oscar performances, every time you turn on the television, because it sure looks like they care, and it sure looks like they're trying really hard, and they always are making the right cues. You hardly ever see sports players like, um, with non sequiturs, where that their gestures are not appropriate to the situation. So if they are acting and everything is rigged, they're really really good at acting. um so I would say that that's even more of a reason to watch it. Now, uh, it is. We do have to recognize that the boss is an impresario, and he is, uh, you know, uh, involved in rigged sports already. So that can also come into play, and also the Golden Age, the Flavians, who are the Caesars who created the story of Jesus in the first place. They are the Flavians. That means gold or golden. And so we could be, we had to keep our eyes on that. Okay, like, share, subscribe, comment as you see fit, and tune in for next time on Your Blind Side.